What is up, guys? This is the Eccentrist Podcast, the very first episode. I'm your host, Vaughn Coleman, and today we are going to be talking about the top 5 MCU films. I'm here with two friends of mine who I met at the USC School of Cinematic Arts beginning filmmaking program last summer. That's summer 2017. Guys, why don't you introduce yourselves?
What's up? I'm Harrison.
I'm Matias. I know Vaughn. Yeah.
Yeah, I also know Vaughn.
Yep.
Nice.
They were in my class. Yep. Good job, guys. All right. So here's how this is going to work. So we're each going to give our top 5 MCU films that's leading up to Infinity War. So this is going to be pre-Infinity War.
You all have your tickets?
I just got them yesterday. My friends decided to wait till last minute. If you guys are listening,
I got them.
I kept telling them for months. I was like, guys, we got to get them now. They're like, dude, relax, all right? Like 2 of them were like, hell yeah, I'll go. And the rest just didn't respond until last minute. Anyway.
Yeah, I got them on Saturday. It was pretty
I got them yesterday. Yesterday. Now that that's out of the way. So basically what we're going to do is each of us have our own top 5 selected. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go first. I'm going to read my 5 through 2. Then we're going to have Harrison is going to go next, read his 5 through 2. Matias, his 5 through 2. But we'll read it slowly, so one at a time, so we can just kind of talk about each film, all right? And then after that, we're going to get to our ones. That sound good?
Yeah.
All right, so I'll start off. Okay, so my number 5 film, I know a lot of people tend to have mixed thoughts about it, is going to be Avengers Age of Ultron.
Wow. Off to a great start, guys.
I could take it you guys aren't fans?
Yeah, Thor the Dark World and shit.
Yeah, that's
right,
like...
Come on. I don't think it was that bad.
I'll check my list. You give your reasons why, and then I'll debate. Oh, man.
I initially when I walked out of the theater, and again, sometimes when I walk out of the theater, and especially with superhero movies, I have to kind of think about it because initially, afterwards, I'll be like when I walked out of it, I was like, dude, that's the best MCU movie so far. And then I thought about it, and I still liked it a lot. Like it's not like Suicide Squad, for example. I walked out liking, and then I thought about it, and I was like, that's really not that good when I thought about it. But Age of Ultron, I don't know. I think it's held up. I think it definitely has some problems, but I think the good far outweighs the bad with this one. I liked that you jump right in and the Avengers are already together, and then it kind of builds on their characters. Hawkeye, for example, had like nothing in the first film, and I think they did a great job with Hawkeye in this film. I think they expanded on the characters really well. Ultron was very hit and miss. I felt I liked the way he was portrayed in Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. That's the animated series where he's just kind of like a cold, calculated killer. And even though I didn't think about this when I was watching, I kind of thought about this. He could have taken control of the Iron Man suits, which would have made for a lot cooler if they didn't have any of their technology. So there are definitely problems, but I like the characters in this film a lot. I think I like the way that they did everything. I think they did everything a good sequel should. They upped the stakes, expanded on everything, kind of went a bit darker with the tone in some areas. I don't know. I think as a sequel, they did a really solid job.
Yeah, 'cause everyone wants to see Hawkeye's family in an Avengers movie.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know. I think that for me, Age of Ultron just seems like a lot of lost potential.
Yeah, same.
I think that it has, and that's my problem with a lot of the MCU movies.
For sure.
And Ultron is such a cool character.
Yeah.
Ultron's such an interesting character, especially in, those animated series and the comics. And I think they really did him wrong here. But even that, like Ultron for a lot of people is their biggest issue with the movie. For me, I just think it doesn't capture the same kind of wonder that the first Avengers did, and it seems a lot of the writing's very lazy. The characters are built on, but we are not getting nearly as much development as we do in, say, the first Avengers or even their solo movies and stuff. Yeah, and for me, I was really hoping for something else when I watched that movie. But
I think it was
their own.
too crammed with especially with Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, and Vision. I think that was like it's a bit too much.
Yeah. I guess I could see that. I thought
They weren't even that relevant to the plot. I mean, especially Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Vision was, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, I guess I can get that. I don't know. I still liked it despite all that.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely things I liked about it. I thought a lot of the action was very, very well done. I really enjoyed the final fight sequence a lot. And I actually disagree with you, Matias. I really like the inclusion of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. I just wish I wish that it didn't take as much time away from
that's
from our main heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Because to be fair, they should be developed somewhere else. You know.
Yeah.
There was already too much going on with the movies that I think that they shouldn't have been. They shouldn't have taken time away from our other characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, number 4. Are we? Anybody else have anything to say?
All right. So, So that was my number 5. So now we're gonna move on to my number 4. So that's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy. So I kept debating if I wanted to put this at 3 or 4. Ultimately, I decided on 4. But this film, it's on TV all the time, and every time I just have to sit down and watch it for at least a little bit. It's so fun. It's so cohesive too. It's just like it's pretty like straightforward, right? It's pretty like they don't have all these threads tying it down. It felt like its own movie, which is really refreshing because even though it was great to see everything build together, it was great to just see a movie stand on its own. And yes, it had Thanos and all of that, but it still really felt like a standalone. It was fun. It was funny. It reminded me a lot of Star Wars. It's what Suicide Squad tried to be, but wasn't even close. It was just, I just love the characters in this film. Rocket, Groot, Gamora, Drax, Star-Lord. Like, they all just did such a good job. They just did such a good job with all of them. And, I think it was really well done.
I love Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was in the MCU when I first watched it,
Oh, really?
I didn't know at all. And, I absolutely love that movie. I think it really just all the points you hit were just really rang true. It's, the characters are so lovable, and, James Gunn does just a perfect job of developing these main heroes, and a lesser job at developing the villain. But like Ultron, I really didn't have too much of a problem with Ronan. I think he served his purpose, and his motives made enough sense. I wish they were kind of developed on more, but I don't know. Did y'all hear the guy who played Ronan is returning for Captain Marvel?
Yeah, it's gonna be
which
weird.
Is set in the 90s, which, if anything, that's just gonna make his character an even better character in Guardians.
Yeah, hopefully.
So,
hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that being pretty much my only complaint with that movie.
Yeah, I mean,
the film's kind of poor, and I don't even care as much as a lot of people do.
Yeah, the fact that the Guardians of the Galaxy were pretty much like unknown before that movie, and now they're like everywhere. I mean, it just shows how good of a movie it really is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great, and it's very, very well done, and James Gunn is really great, and I also like not enough MCU movies that do this. I think where you get one guy to write and direct and really take creative control of a project. A lot of almost every other one of these movies. I love the Marvel movies, but I can see them for what they are. There's a lot of different people pulling, the movie to different sides creatively, and a lot of times it doesn't work out when you have 3 different writers and a director who hasn't written it all, and they're just coming in right after the script is made, and it seems like that's a problem with a lot of these movies. But James Gunn really knew he had a vision for this movie. It seems like there was very little studio input into what into the movie, and he got to do what he wanted. He got to make the movie he wanted to do.
Yeah, you can tell
I
this
really
all
love it.
came from him, like just one person.
Yeah, and one thing I liked too was that because initially when they announced it, I didn't know what Guardians of the Galaxy was, so I was like, why is that coming up before Ant-Man? Because Ant-Man is like one of the original Avengers, the Hank Pym one specifically. But I was like, why do we have to have that in between Ant-Man? And then I saw Guardians of the Galaxy, the trailer, and I was like, oh crap, this is actually going to be really good. And so I took a lot of my friends, and then a couple of my friends who aren't even as big into the MCU just like loved it, loved everything about it. Like just everyone loved Guardians of the Galaxy. I just think it's a film that just everyone can love. I don't, and I think it ended up being better than Ant-Man.
Who don't at least find it enjoyable.
Yeah, same.
So yeah, it's a very safe pick from me, but it's an honest one.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it's not on all of our lists.
Honestly, yeah.
It's not on my list, even though I love it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So
Fun fact.
all right. So next one this is also very safe. The Avengers. Spoiler, my list is going to be pretty safe, except for a couple
for Age of Ultron.
Yeah, except for Age of Ultron, exactly. All right. So number 3, and by the way, there's only one MCU film that I could truly say I hate. So if that's on either of your lists,
What movie?
You will have to see. If we don't get to it I will let you guys know. All right. So
Thor: The Dark World and Hulk are not on my list. So
no, it's neither of those.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So The Avengers is my number 3. No, not really a big surprise. For a while, I considered it number 1, but I think the way it holds up, I think it's like the perfect like starting superhero movie. Like I look at a movie like Justice League and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, because this just did it so perfectly. One thing I can say I like about it, the way the heroes come together, it's like they have conflict. They learn to be friends, and then they have this giant battle at the end. That's what it should be, right? And what I like about it is that they knew as a first film, since they're not as close, they could get some really cool fights between the heroes beforehand, right? So they could have a fight between the fight between Thor and Hulk, or the fight between Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, like all these fights, Hawkeye, Black Widow, like, and then also the giant culmination of it all at the end, the whole battle in New York. I think it's just really a perfect way to do a superhero movie. I think it's an ideal superhero movie. I think it does everything it needs to do really well. I like they all seem to have a motivation to be there. Only confusing one I felt was like when Thor comes down after destroying the bridge in Thor. I was like, what? Like he just kind of pops down. And Loki's
that was
alive.
Yeah.
But I guess I didn't know much about it. But that's like the only one that just, because he just kind of pops out of nowhere and you're just like, okay. But I guess the characters kind of reacted that way too. So it was just kind of funny. But yeah, I really, this is once again another one I don't really have too many problems with. I just think it's great.
Oh yeah, no, Avengers will always hold a special place in my heart, but I do think it does everything it tries to do and everything it needs to do.
Yeah, but it doesn't exceed it.
Perfectly, but it does not exceed. It does not exceed those, and I think the movie is missing a lot of substance. It doesn't. You know, when you think about what makes it. I don't know. It's kind of a perfect blockbuster, you know?
Yeah.
It's fun. You can really get behind the characters. I remember coming out of the theater, like, with my friends talking about, like, you know, which Avenger you would want to be or which one has the best powers. And everybody's like, absolutely not Captain America. Because at this point, he was really lame. But
see, I disagree. I always loved Captain. He was my favorite. I'll be honest.
I liked him a lot in the first Avenger, but I thought him in Avengers was – I think it was just partly his –
He had like the cheapest costume as well.
Yeah.
I see. I like it. I've heard people complain about it, but I don't know. I like the whole
Avengers for me. It gives me the same type of feeling I would have when I was a really little kid watching Power Rangers. You know.
Yeah.
It's just spectacle. It's you want to be one of those superheroes. It's really just an all-around, very well-made movie, but it does not go above and beyond in ways that I like all the movies I watch to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that a movie, if Marvel released a movie at the same caliber today, I don't think it would be as accepted because people have seen it before. You know,
Yeah.
People aren't trying to just see this.
It's not new
factory
anymore.
Copy and paste. Yeah, but Matias, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I love Avengers. I remember watching it like literally everyone. But like you said, it doesn't really exceed at anything. It knows what it is and it's pretty good at what it is, but could have been better, could have been worse, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just a spectacle, like you said, pretty much.
Yeah. All right. Number 2.
Vaughn.
All right, yeah. So let's see. This one is going to have to be. All right. Once again, my list is pretty predictable, but that's just because I think a lot of the people who will like certain Marvel movies will be right. Except Age of Ultron is one again that I do like more than most people. Actually, when I walked out of that, I was like, "That's better than the Avengers." And I debated actually putting it higher.
Oh wow!
I debated that for my number 3. I debated that for my number 3. Didn't end up going that way, but I did debate that. But yeah, so my number 2 is going to be Iron Man, and that's just because it holds up really well, and I think it has a level of seriousness that you don't really see anymore, and that's something I missed. Yeah. Like, it was funny. Don't get me wrong. It was funny, but it was like it wasn't like quirks in battle, or like quips, I should say. It wasn't like, oh, hey, remember when we did this? Yeah, or oh, want to see something? You know what I mean? It wasn't like as much banter, or there were like really dark scenes, like when he's in the cave and or even in the opening scene when they get shot. Right? That's like those soldiers get shot. Like that stuff sticks with you. It's emotional. It's the villain. I think is one of the best in the MCU too. I think Obadiah Stane was a great villain. I think, and I really liked. I think his origin story they just nailed. I love the way it's like the phoenix from the ashes. The way he's in the cave, and then he has to fight and break free. It felt grittier too and more violent in a way.
Mm-hmm.
It felt and so because of that, I think it will still really hold up.
Yeah, I love Iron Man. I mean, I have a bit of like some problems with the third act specifically, but I think the first 2 acts are pretty much like perfect almost.
Yeah, the third act seems very rushed.
Yeah.
That's really my only problem with it. I love everything about it.
Something people don't always mention about Iron Man is the music, which
it's so
like
good.
adore.
Yeah, I was just listening to that actually earlier today. I was like, oh my god, why? Like they don't really. That's the problem with the MCU is they come up with so many good themes and they don't like reuse them. I watched a video on that because people were like, why don't remember Marvel music? Well, it's not that the music's bad. Some guy made like a counter video. I forget. Someone will probably tell me in the comments or whatever. But it was like, or I hope they do. But it was this video where I just searched it up anyway. But
it was an every frame of painting video.
Was that it?
I watched it too.
I'm not talking about the one where it's like against it. I'm talking about the one.
A bunch of people make counter videos because that video got like 3 million views.
Yeah, so it was a counter video where it was like, well, the reason you don't remember is because they don't repeat it. For example, the X-Men themes are like just as good, but you remember them more because
the only theme they've ever used is the Avengers one, I think.
Yeah,
which is why
they used the Guardians theme at the beginning of Guardians 2.
I'll be honest, I didn't know because everyone freaked out when Nick Fury came out in Iron Man. Can I be honest? I didn't know till like after the Avengers came out about that scene.
Really?
Yeah.
You just didn't know to stick to the end?
Yeah, I didn't know when I was little. And that's the thing. I didn't see any plans of a greater thing. I just saw it for what it was, just a really great movie.
Yeah.
I think
it could have stood on its own, honestly, and it does stand on its own.
Oh yeah, no, it's absolutely fantastic. Something everybody forgets: this movie's shot on film. Like
Wait, is it actually?
Yes, it's shot in film. It's so beautiful. Oh my god! Like I adore Iron Man.
I think it's the only MCU film shot on film, isn't it?
If I'm not mistaken, I think parts of Doctor Strange were shot in film. Let me look it up. I remember when they're filming it, like I saw on Reddit that it was being shot in film.
Yeah, that's weird. Maybe like Incredible Hulk.
I think it was.
Yeah, Incredible Hulk was.
No, it was not. It was not.
It's not like a movie I like. That's one thing I can say about Incredible Hulk. It was the same year as Iron Man, if I remember.
Yeah,
I do remember staying for end credits for that.
It was within like 6 months.
Yeah, I do remember because I do remember staying the end credits for that because I remember the whole General Ross scene when Tony Stark walks in, and then we walk out of that. I was with my friend's dad took us, and they're like, "Oh, holy crap! It's gonna be Iron Man versus Hulk." Turned out it was much bigger than that. For Iron Man and Hulk teaming up. But yeah, that was just so cool. Seeing that Hulk movie though, it's not really a movie I like to revisit a lot. It's like, yeah, I don't know. It's not that
people just forget about it.
It's
just forgetful, and it does not help that they recast Hulk. I prefer Mark Ruffalo's Hulk.
Yeah.
Same. It's as if Marvel Marvel purposely wants you to forget about it.
Oh yeah,
It's
not even like I love Edward Norton. He's one of my favorite actors. But yeah, no, I like Mark Ruffalo's better.
Same.
Yeah. So those are my 5 through 2. Harrison, we're gonna move on to yours.
Okay. So my number 5 is Guardians of the Galaxy. I'll try to say different things that I'd said before. Yeah, this movie, it's really great. I, saw a trailer for it. Just thought it looked really funny and really fun. Didn't really expect too much out of it, but we got a movie similar to in the way that Avengers. I think the Guardians of the Galaxy it's very similar to Avengers, but I think it has that substance.
Yeah.
It has.
Yes.
For me, it has what Avengers doesn't have, which is very, very like. I almost love these characters more in this movie than I love the Avengers and Avengers. It
felt like a team instead of just.
It did.
It was everything about it's just so well done, and it has just really great substance and really great action. It's just a really fun popcorn movie.
Yeah. And one thing I gotta say, I forgot to mention this. One thing I do like about the Avengers more than Guardians, because I debated personally. I do think that Guardians is gonna hold up in my eyes more than Avengers, but I don't know. I wanted to put Avengers higher just because it was like the MCU. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's Avengers. Avengers. I think it will go down in history as one of the most influential movies of all time, and.
Yeah, it will.
Definitely more than Guardians out there. What's that?
My phone. Oh my god.
All right, I'll wait a second. Are we good?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that Avengers will go down as one of the most influential movies of all time.
Oh, absolutely.
And it definitely more than Guardians. I think it had more of a cultural impact, but I think Guardians really goes above and beyond and shines where Avengers didn't. And I'm like, this makes it seem like I hated Avengers. I think Avengers is perfect for what it's trying to do, but Guardians built on that formula that Avengers set up and really exceeded those expectations.
Yeah, the thing about Guardians as well is that the villain, I mean, it may not be like that great of a villain, but at least each member of the Guardians has like a reason to fight him in a way. And I think that's what sets this apart from Avengers the most, at least in my opinion.
Avengers, it's like, let's save the world,
Yeah.
Like, let's do that.
It's personal for
Guardians,
literally everyone.
Guardians, there's just so much more character because you can see, like, Rocket doesn't want to be there, He's like, I'm doing this for money. And most of them are doing it for money. But they come together and realize that they do have to, they're the only people that can save it.
Yeah.
it's cheesy, but I think it works, and it's really, really great for this movie.
Mhm.
I don't
And it
think-
beat, like all odds. Like it's just amazing that it did that.
Yeah. One thing I do want to say I like about the Avengers more, actually, you were mentioning it, is the villain is better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Way better.
No. The villain.
I should have mentioned that. I forgot to mention how much I love Loki.
Loki's really, really great in that movie.
Yeah.
Loki's great in everything he's in. Even Thor: The Dark World he makes better.
Yeah, he makes Thor: The Dark World better, but not enough to make it a good movie, I would say.
Yeah, Thor: The Dark
All
World.
right. Yeah, so my number 4 is Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Nice.
Ah.
Oh man, really? Vaughn?
Yeah. No, that was good.
Oh, okay.
Wait, you
No,
didn't
no,
like
no.
it,
I
Vaughn?
mean, like, because, like,
I
yeah,
saw it.
no, I
with you.
liked it. I remember you coming out, Matias. You especially were like, I think that's one of my favorites. So I'm guessing it's on your list. But I'm not.
You're
We'll
guessing,
find
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
I think it's Jack's favorite.
Spider-Man: Homecoming. I was concerned about this movie.
So was
you know, I thought really liked Sam Raimi's movies, and I think Spider-Man 1 and 2 are probably I think I like those movies more than Homecoming. I also really like Sam Raimi. I love Evil Dead and all that. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I haven't
A little
seen
biased,
Army
but-
of Darkness yet, but I love.
yeah,
the
I
first
need
Evil Dead.
God, I need to see Army of Darkness.
I
Yeah, I
wasn't
need
crazy
to.
about Evil Dead 2, if I'm being honest. My friends and I watched
oh my
it.
God, I love Evil Dead 2 so
See,
much.
My friends and I, we watched the Evil Dead. We really liked the first one. The next day, we're like, boom, we're gonna watch Evil Dead 2. We hear it's even better, and then we watched it. And we were like, what the hell? Like this is.
No,
just the
I
first
like
one,
it
but
better than the first one.
I don't know. It was just I don't know, man. Like so many people love it. We just thought it was like stupid. I don't know. I don't mean, and I'm gonna get shit for this. I don't. But like,
Yeah.
first Age of Ultron. Now this.
Yeah, no. Evil Dead, like, this is not what we're talking about, but I'll just go into why I think Evil Dead's like a perfect movie.
No, we can go. We can go
No,
off.
it's it knows that it's being dumb. It runs, it runs with that idea that it's going to be really dumb and stupid and kind of really outlandish, but it works, and it's really technically a very well-made movie too. And yeah, I love it. All right, yeah, I'll get into why I like Spider-Man. So I was worried about this movie. I really liked Raimi's movies. I thought The Amazing Spider-Man was hot garbage, like everybody else. And I was.
We're gonna get shit on again.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Jesus,
All right,
I'm selling my soul at this point.
Yeah,
You like that fucking alligator?
I think
looking
think that I think there are redeeming qualities about The Amazing Spider-Man. I think that Andrew Garfield, actually, I really liked him as Spider-Man, not as
So
Peter
did I.
Parker though.
Yeah.
And I thought the costume.
But
I thought
the
costume was really
suit, especially in the first ones, just like, what is that?
No, I thought this.
Oh, you didn't like
Amazing
the
Spider-Man
suit?
2.
I
Amazing
love the
Spider-Man
suit.
2 had a good suit.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2 had a good suit. Like, the Amazing Spider-Man had a terrible suit. The first one, I think.
Oh, I don't remember. Yeah, but
You should-
so I
you
was
should Google
worried
it.
about this
It
movie.
looks like it actually looks really just weird.
Yeah, I was worried about this movie though. I heard that he was going to be in Civil War, and I saw him in Civil War, and then I was like, wow, all right, this is this is different. This is new. This is young. This is everything a Spider-Man needs to be. And I was still worried about it, but I went in and watched it. I was like, wow, like this is everything I want to see from an MCU Spider-Man movie.
Same.
It's not. It's there's low stakes. Every oh my God, Vulture, Michael Keaton is so good.
Yeah, that's the thing. When they announced the Vulture
probably
was the villain, I was like, why the hell would they choose the Vulture? Because like I love Spider-Man. I think he has some of the best villains, but Vulture is one villain. I was like, why? And then I saw they cast Michael Keaton. I was like, okay, never mind.
Yeah, there's a real motive. That the twist is so goddamn good.
Oh,
Yeah.
everyone! Wait, you were with us because
Yes.
we all saw it.
Yeah, we
all
were
saw
all
it
together.
3 days early, right? We all saw it 3 days early. And when the twist happens, which those of you who have seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. We all just got up and just started, we didn't get up, but we just started clapping, right? Like, 'cause it was so
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, I remember everybody started clapping. It was just like it was like just such a great moment because I have not felt that. I like it was the most unexpected thing for me.
Yeah, you literally
movie.
could not.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
And
I think what was really smart too is without trying to go too in depth with the twist, it was they named the girl Liz intentionally so that way even comic book fans, like, I just assumed that was Liz Allen, who's one of the high school girls from the comics. I think one of Peter's girlfriends at one point. She dated Flash Thompson. I think she ended up marrying Harry Osborn as well, which is to be missed. Yeah. Anyway, so that kind of reminded me of that. One thing I will say about Spider-Man Homecoming is as someone who really likes Spider-Man, I get that we don't want to have the same old shit, but it felt like they changed a bit too much in some areas. Granted,
I thought the suit was too advanced.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the criticism with the suit, but I don't know. Like, I still liked it.
I think that there was definitely cool things with the suit, but I also think that there was it did a little bit too much, and it seemed like it helped them out a little bit too much. Which
it did.
Like they took away the suit from it at the end, and like that's really when I
that's
when
like
overpowered.
when he didn't have all his bells and whistles, and
I think that's why they made the suit that way.
Yeah, with the bells and whistles that the suit had, I think it made that part at the end more, a lot better because he didn't.
Yeah.
But I think still it went a little bit too overboard there.
If they would have taken the suit and it had none of the tech it had, it literally would have made no difference.
Yeah,
it wouldn't have. You're right.
Yeah.
But I
go ahead. Go on.
No. Spider-Man: Homecoming, A+ for me. Everything a Spider-Man movie needs to be. It connected to the MCU in a really brilliant way, where it wasn't too much. It was disconnected enough, but it was still very much in the same universe.
Yeah, it fucked up the timeline though.
Oh my god! Yeah, Doug.
I saw that. It was like 8 years later. I was like, "What? Like, isn't it supposed to be less time?"
Absolutely demolished the timeline.
I was no. You would think because I was like, surely they must have considered.
I think it might have been
a logical.
I really think it was.
How did that many people go through it? Because they've been planning this out for years. And
it's a funny part.
I don't know if it was edited in. It might have been edited in house at Sony, and so they didn't really.
Oh yeah.
But maybe. You would think because they've been carefully constructed this, you would think they would just.
That seems like a mistake Sony would make though.
Yeah. I don't know. But
I mean, they did release.
Maybe it was like a last
or after.
They did release half the movie in the trailer.
That's true. They did. They did that with the Amazing Spider-Man 2. They summed up the entire fucking movie in the trailer.
They showed the last shot on the trailer.
Yeah.
That was,
what was that?
ridiculous.
A couple things I did think about because I liked Spider-Man: Homecoming. I think it's a good movie. I think there were some flaws. Even from the trailer, I didn't like how overly CG high tech the weapons were.
The suit, the
lasers. Not just the suit. I'm talking about the lasers. When the ship gets cut in half, I was like, what? Or when they have the whole gravity guns. I like my favorite version of Spider-Man, full disclosure, has got to be Spectacular Spider-Man, the animated series. I'm not saying copy and paste that, although that would be my favorite. But certain things from that I feel like we're kind of missing. The Vulture was definitely an improvement from any best version of the Vulture I've seen easily. I like that he was actually a vulture, that he scavenges stuff. That they made him an actual interesting character because he always just felt like one of the Sinister Six or just one of the villains. He didn't feel like you know what I mean? He just kind of felt like he was with their Electro could stand on his own, all of them. Vulture didn't feel like he could. They made it where he can. One thing I will say is I feel like there were too many key characters missing. Amazing Spider-Man did this as well, I think, is they remove but this one especially, I get that they're trying to be different, but it's there's no Mary Jane, which we already had a break from her with we still, in my opinion, no disrespect to Kristen Dunst, but we haven't had a definitive Mary Jane yet. And the fact that we confirmed the other girl as MJ just annoys me because it means now we're probably not going to get a Mary Jane, which I've really wanted. I mean, we didn't have one of the Amazing Spider-Man movies, so I feel like we've had a good break from the character. Harry Osborn, I get. Mary Jane, I kind of want to come back full swing, except be more like the comics, which is more outgoing and all that. It felt weird not having the Osborns, but again, I get that. Mary Jane.
I want to eventually see the Osborns.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to eventually.
I think they're some of the most interesting.
Mhm.
Like I think the dynamic of Spider-Man is very good with Harry Osborn.
Yeah, which is
I like that they're not included though. Like I think they're
Yeah,
saving.
I think it would not have fit into the first movie.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Amazing Spider-Man did the same thing. They didn't fit him in the first, and then they're like, "Oh, we were childhood friends all along." Like, are they gonna do that again?
I don't think
I hope
no, it does not work like that. I think the only way they can introduce him is he's moving from LA, or he's moving, or maybe he lives in Manhattan, and then gets kicked out of his school because he's like a bad boy, a bad kid.
Bad boy.
He has to go to some school in Queens or something.
Yeah, Vaughn style.
Or maybe he has to meet him through some. Maybe Peter gets like an internship. Damn it, we're now coming up with ideas for Spider-Man, whatever the next.
We've been on Spider-Man for a while. Should we get off?
Hold up. I did like when they introduced like Matt Gargan when they name drop certain things. I did like Shocker, although I feel like he could have maybe been in a bit more. But I did like Shocker. I wish they had his mask. Again, now I'm just kind of because I know more about Spider-Man than any other Marvel characters for the most part. I guess X-Men kind of a bit, but yeah, sorry, I'm just fanboying about Spider-Man. But yeah, overall, I liked it. I like what they did with Ned Leeds because he's not really a huge character from the comics. I like they made him Peter's friend. There's just a lot of stuff I like, I guess. It just didn't make my top 5 because in my
it was a great movie.
Spider-Man movies, those are top-notch in my opinion. They're my favorites. The first one especially. Yeah. I just don't think you'll be able to top that. Except the only thing I think they could have improved, Mary Jane, and they didn't, man.
Yeah.
Maybe in the next one.
All right. So my number 3 is Captain America: Civil War.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Is this a hot take?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. What are your thoughts, Matias? We'll start with you.
Hated the ending. Like just the third act in general. Like,
wow. Really?
I mean,
why?
It literally like just ended. It didn't amount to nothing. It was just like, hey, here's a phone. Call me if you need me, and it ended.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. And what's his name? The villain.
Zemo.
Yeah, Zemo. That guy.
I've heard a lot of
like just. It's Lex Luthor level ridiculous. Like
I don't think he was that.
I've heard a lot of shit about his plan, and what I think people don't like. I think his plan lines up on a lot of coincidences, but I think his plan still would have worked regardless of those coincidences happening. I don't think he planned for those things to happen, but they ended up all just working in his favor. You know?
Yeah, I get that. But I don't know.
His basic plan to pit the Avengers against each other, I think would have worked regardless of whether people are in the right room at the right time and at the right place at the right time. He was still gonna somehow find a way to get Iron Man the video of Bucky killing his parents.
Yeah.
I think it does line up on a lot of coincidences, which is kind of annoying. But
wait, why didn't you just send in that video in the first place?
Yeah, I don't know.
I just thought of that.
Yeah.
Hold on.
But
just send him an email file of it.
Well, this
flash drive in the mail.
This movie, I think it does very well with balancing the amount of characters it has. It successfully, introduces 2 new characters, and really develops every other character in the movie, and it adds humanity to a lot of them. It has a really good plot and a good story. I really enjoyed watching it out and seeing how it played out, and it has very I'm hoping because we haven't really seen too much of it, that it has lasting impacts on the MCU and the
I feel like it doesn't though.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
that's my.
one thing I
I
gotta
mean,
say.
no one, like even fucking War Machine, like he's fine in Infinity War.
He was fine at the end of the movie.
I think
Yeah.
it's gonna be. I think we're gonna have to find. We're gonna have to find out really how much, what the consequences were for this movie in Infinity War, because we have not seen.
Yeah, hopefully,
majority of these characters in a
the
while.
tensions between.
Yeah. And I think that
American
I think that the Sokovia Accord should have a role in
Yeah, I
Infinity
think
War.
so too. I think so too.
One
Yeah,
thing I
but-
will say,
The thing I did like about Civil War is obviously Spider-Man, which
Mhm.
we were talking about.
let's go back into it all over again.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Civil War was the first MCU movie that started giving me like MCU fatigue, actually. But
Really?
Doctor Strange came out right after that, and that was like pretty much. I was like, oh yeah, Doctor Strange is awesome. So, and then Guardians 2 came out, and I was like, yeah, this is good. But yeah, Civil War. I just don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would say the fatigue.
Maybe I had too.
there too.
Like maybe my expectations were too high, but the fact that no one died, the fact that the villain was a bit lackluster,
I really like the villain. I do not like how nobody died. It
Yeah.
removed a lot of the stakes for me.
it did.
And I think that if someone died there, it would have been less predictable, because the Infinity War, everybody knows someone's gonna die.
Yeah, I mean, they
and-
could have at least killed the War Machine. Like he was practically dead.
Yeah. Well, and I doubt he's gonna do anything substantial in Infinity
Yeah.
War. Watch as someone watched this like 2 weeks later. They're like, "Holy fuck, War Machine's like the most important character in all of Infinity
He kills
War."
Thanos and
Yeah.
his entire fleet single
Yeah,
handed.
with the
I
help
would
of
be
Hawkeye.
surprised.
Yeah, Hawkeye kills all of
Yeah.
them.
Hawkeye and
been
War
in one
Machine just
trailer.
team up.
Thanos just comes in through a portal. Hawkeye just shoots an arrow and just kills him.
Yeah.
But Civil War, I think it does a very good job at developing or at introducing Black Panther, and I
The
think.
colors also suck.
Oh yeah, the colors do suck.
Yeah,
What was I
Black
gonna
Panther's
say?
awesome in that movie.
Yeah, Black Panther's awesome in that movie. And hot take again, I think he's a much better character in this movie than he is in his own movie.
I've heard that actually. People say
I've heard
I
that.
also think the fight choreography for Black Panther in this movie works a lot better than his movie. I have a
Yeah.
lot of problems with Black Panther, so if that is on any of y'all's lists,
Yeah, it's in my list.
okay, well you'll hear my my 50,000 cents on that movie.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Fuck.
done with Civil War. Okay. Yeah. So moving on to the next one. My number 2, Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Nice.
Hey, all right.
Yeah.
It seems like we all like that one, right?
Vaughn,
When
why
I walked
wasn't
out of
that
that,
on your list?
what?
Why wasn't that on your list?
Don't spoil it yet, but I think I can. I
Oh,
know.
yeah,
All right. When I walked out of this
Okay.
one, similar to Age of Ultron, when I walked out of this one, I was like, "This is the best MCU movie." I love the whole spy thing
Yeah.
where it's like, oh wait, actually, you know what, man? I'm not done with Civil War yet. Hold on.
Okay, wait.
All right, so I do think this is better. That this is better than Civil War. But real quick with Civil War, one thing I want to say is I don't feel like there were any stakes. Zemo, compared to what was in, I don't know much about the comic book character, but I'm guessing he's closer to an Earth's Mightiest Heroes. But anyway, that Zemo I liked more. This Zemo didn't seem like that at all. He seemed
The Zemo didn't have to be. He in no way was he supposed to be the comic book character. I think if they do bring him back, they're going to bring him closer to the comic book character. But in this movie, I think they wanted an original villain. They didn't want to have to do anything because he isn't the antagonist in this movie. It's Iron Man, you know?
right, but it's like Winter Soldier doesn't made up its original villain, right? It
What?
wasn't a character it was an original villain for Winter Soldier, not Winter Soldier himself, but the main guy. But it was
Bucky?
like, no, not Winter Soldier. No, the what was it? Robert Redford? Is that it? Is that who?
Oh, yeah, that guy? He's an original
He's an
character?
original. Yeah. So I was like, I was wondering, like, if they why'd they use Zemo? Why didn't they just do that again? Like,
Because I think I think Zemo might eventually come back, or they
I
they
think
could
they
have
will.
plans for him to come back. And if it was an original character, then they're working off of nothing. And then I think people get pissed off at
It
wasted
depends on who
opportunity.
dies. I
Yeah.
think it really depends on who dies in Infinity War, whether he
Yeah.
comes back or not.
Because he's a
but
Captain America villain, so
Yeah,
if he comes back, I think then they have a really great setup to what would be a very cool villain. I think.
yeah, I think so too. Maybe
yeah,
like
but-
a passing down the mantle story.
I absolutely love Civil War, but not as much as Captain America: Winter Soldier. Which this and my number one are the only two MCU movies that I would legitimately call great movies. I think.
I know you're number one. I know it. I'm not gonna say it, but I know what it is.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, Vaughn.
Yeah,
oh yeah, buddy.
We know you're number one.
X-Men Origins Wolverine, right?
Yes. All right. So Winter Soldier.
Howard the Duck.
This movie. This
The
movie is
Incredible Hulk.
really.
No, just the Hulk.
just Thor. Yeah, just the whole
No. Ang Lee.
90s Fantastic Four.
Four stick.
Just keep going till Harrison just gets pissed.
Yeah, I'm about to start getting fired up, heated up.
Electro.
Thor: The Dark World.
All right, that wasn't at that level. Come on.
Yeah. All right, Winter Soldier. So this movie is damn near perfect for a superhero movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But before I get into this, what's y'all's all-time favorite superhero movie?
Mine's a tie between Logan and The Dark Knight.
Yeah, Logan
Yeah.
is up there.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight is up there. My number one pick here is up there. Which you've probably both guessed at this point. Let's be real here.
No, for me, I think Logan might be a little higher than The Dark Knight.
Yeah,
yeah, it's
I
Logan
think
and
so
Dark
too.
Knight.
Just because of just Hugh
I
Jackman.
think that those movies exceed these movies. My top two step close to it, but I think those movies are not only good superhero movies, but just absolutely great movies in general.
Yeah.
My number one movie is definitely close up there. Less so my number two, but I still love number two. But The Winter Soldier, awesome villain, awesome plot, really
great.
interesting and thought provoking.
Arnim Zola was cool too when they had the
Yeah.
guy in the computer. Like just everything
Yeah,
felt like
the comedy in this
here.
movie, it's sparse, but when it happens, it works very well.
everything works, and I can't think of a single thing in this movie that just the whole shield. The fact that this movie surprises you, it genuinely.
I don't know if y'all.
When
watched,
does that happen anymore in the MCU?
I don't know if y'all watched. It happened with Spider-Man.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And
If
Thor
y'all-
Ragnarok surprised me a little bit.
Yeah. Did y'all
So
watch?
never mind. I withdraw my point. All right, sorry, continue.
Agents of Shield. Have y'all watched it?
I've seen the first 2 episodes.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
Well, that show, it's really shitty beginning of the first season, but what makes that first season bearable is that there's an awesome tie-in with the Winter Soldier, which enhanced my love of this movie so much. That the Winter Soldier absolutely completely flips that show on its head, and it just becomes so good. Like, you're finding out that people within the show are part of Hydra and shit.
Ooh, that
and
sounds cool.
It is so good. That show in general is really good. I still need to watch season 5, but
Are they on season 5 now?
Yes.
Damn.
That show's been going for a while.
I remember when it came
slowly
out.
gets farther away from the MCU, and they start doing more and more stuff where they can work in a world where they don't have consequences. Like a lot of the last season was done in like a VR world almost, and they're trapped in there.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's really, really interesting, and there's some really cool characters, and Coulson's in it. So
Yeah, Coulson. The thing about the Winter Soldier though is Nick Fury. That was like really awesome.
Yeah, Nick Fury.
Yeah, it's
Black
cool
Widow.
that he hasn't appeared since then.
I can't think of a single problem I have with the Winter Soldier. I really can't.
yeah, no, I think. I mean, it's really, really good. I mean, my only problem with it is that I think the cinematography is a little boring sometimes. I'm getting into like because I want to put these two, my top two at least, on the same kind of under the same critical eye that I do every other movie that I watch, because I usually give superhero movies an easier time. because they're really just meant for fun. But if I'm looking at this like how I view most movies I watch, I think the cinematography is a little boring. They're not really doing anything super new with it.
Yeah, the colors are
and
also.
I think the colors are pretty dull. And if like when you look at Logan, it like that movie just
that movie's
looking. Cinematography is great, and if those technical things had carried over to Winter Soldier, or it had been there in Winter Soldier, I think this would be like a 5 out of 5 movie. It's very, very
really
good.
would have.
All right, those are my 5 through 2.
All right, hold up. I gotta go back to Civil War real quick. All right, before we move on to Matias's, because there is one thing I forgot to mention, and that's I feel like Age of Ultron, everyone kept thinking, oh, that's gonna lead to conflict. Because, for example, with Winter Soldier, even though they didn't technically build up the Hydra thing, when it happened, it felt natural. And it's not to say Civil War didn't feel natural, but it's just kind of like at the end of, I kind of blame Age of Ultron for this because they just kind of like, oh, see you around, Captain America. And then next movie, they're like, I'm going to kill you, Captain America. And it's like, what happened? So I don't know, that seemed kind of weird. I also feel like a lot of the characters in Civil War, if it makes it sound like I hate Civil War, I don't. I really like Civil War, but it just kind of, a lot of the characters didn't really feel like they had a reason to be on their side. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like Black Panther made sense, Iron Man made sense, even Spider-Man made sense. But like Hawkeye just kind of like pops in. He's like, I got to be in this movie.
It's like I'm just so fucking curious why he hasn't been in any of the marketing.
Yeah, wait, what is that? Dude, what if he just dies in the opening? Like he steps on a landmine or something?
Oh yeah, the Russo brothers have said that it's completely intentional and it has to do with the plot. So I mean, it may just be like a costume change or some shit. But
dude, it's because Hawkeye saves everyone. Oh wait, yeah, shit. To costume change, actually, that would be sick if he was in his purple uniform in the comics. You know what I'm talking about, guys?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That would be sick. All right, I'm sorry. I keep going back to Civil War. I do like Civil War. Just had a couple things. It felt more like just a little fight, not instead of a war.
It should have just been called Civil War.
It should have just been called Iron Man.
No, it's still Captain America.
It should have just been called Civil Disagreement. Because that's
just civil disagreement.
Like I haven't read the comic yet, but from what I've heard, it's like actually feels like an all-out war. Like
just Day of Ultron.
Like the MCU is just not the same. Like everything is broke. Yeah, or Day of Ultron. All right, yeah, that's true. A lot of my criticism can easily apply to Age of Ultron. I'm not going to pretend like it can.
Day of Ultron. Hour of Ultron.
3 days of Ultron. No, but definitely I still liked. All right, I got to stop. But I still liked Civil War. All right, anyway, back to Matias. It's your turn.
All right.
You're at bat.
Okay, I'm sensing that you're both gonna disagree with my number 5, but I'm just gonna go for it. Iron Man 3.
Fuck that movie. That's the only one I hate. It's the only one I can't stand.
It's such a good movie. I'm one of the...
I genuinely cannot stand it.
You're one of the 4 people.
Yeah, I'm one of the 4 people who actually like it, and I think the Mandarin twist is actually pretty good.
I like it. I think my problem with that movie is not the Mandarin twist.
Oh, mine is. That's one of mine. That's my biggest one. I hated that shit.
Yeah, I knew that one.
Yeah.
Wait, so what's your problem with the movie?
I just think it's boring.
Yeah, I think it was kind of boring too.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Mandarin twist was very interesting.
I mean, I
think it worked well in the movie, and I just think that there's no movie backing up that twist at all. There's just no substance there. Like I thought the PTSD thing was really forced and just weird.
Yeah, I liked it.
I
mean, I think that if Iron Man would have literally just finished right there, I would have been okay with it. That's the one thing I don't like about the movie. The fact that at the end he kind of low-key retires.
Yeah, and then he just comes back.
Yeah, but
I was looking for
really
an epic end to Iron Man's saga.
Yeah, me too.
You know?
Me too. And it had that.
That is not what I got.
I mean,
had that.
I mean the ending. I did not like the ending. Like not the last scene, but the whole like multiple suits battle. I thought
that was stupid. Why did
Yeah.
they fall apart? Like,
I
they committed
actually
campaigns.
really enjoyed the multiple suits.
Hmm.
I don't know. I thought that was cool.
I thought, all right, so hang on, is that all the reasons you like it, Matias?
The PTSD, the tone, the characters, Shane Black's directing,
All right, so
Robert Downey Jr.'s acting. I mean, you name it.
all right, so I'll be honest with you. I when I first made this, I was what grade was I? I was in, I want to say 7th grade, and I saw this
Can we
movie.
pause real quick? Yeah. Mom. No. Speak to me through the door.
Why don't you like the movie, Vaughn? It's a good movie.
Wait, should I? I'm debating if I need to cut this part out of the podcast.
Just keep it. It's funny. It's a good movie, though.
Oh yeah, actually, this podcast would have taken so long if we ended up getting everyone on board.
Yeah, it would have.
It's already taking a while.
Yeah, it's a good podcast.
Harrison.
Sorry about that.
Oh, it's all right.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, we were just talking about how Iron Man 3 is a masterpiece.
No, it's not. Fucking. All right, so, all right. When I say fuck Iron Man 3, I don't think it's terrible. No disgrace to everyone. Well, I just really, really don't like it. Because I normally, I acknowledge that it's good in some aspects, but it's just all right. So let's start with the Mandarin twist, the obvious thing. That's like, can you imagine if Batman breaks in to stop the Joker? It's just some like 40-year-old living in his mom's basement. He's like, "Oh, I really work for the Calendar Man." Like that's what it felt like.
Mandarin is not an iconic comic villain.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
No, he's
Yes,
not.
he is.
Iron Man
So
was
because
not
you
an
don't know-
iconic
okay,
character.
so because
before
you don't,
Iron
hang
Man.
on, then make him an
Okay.
iconic character.
Okay, yeah.
Then make him one.
I understand. I understand.
Iron
where
Man
you're
was
going.
not an
to
Vaughn.
make that comparison with the Joker is just
Yeah,
so unfacts.
Yeah,
Like,
but to say, here's the thing.
Iron Man was nothing before 2008.
so how would the Mandarin
No,
be?
but-
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
then make him something. Don't make him
Well,
nothing.
They made him a twist.
Yeah,
It was
They
pretty
made-
fucking good.
that's what they made him.
What's good about the twist?
It was
No one
different.
saw
It
it
was
coming.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, it was surprising.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
it.
It was,
Yes.
it was surprising, and I thought it was
And
funny.
Ben Kingsley's like just funny.
Yeah, I thought it was a very that for me that was the most enjoyable part of the movie.
Yeah, same.
I couldn't stand that.
Yeah, I mean, I think you either love it or you hate it.
Yeah, I
the
think
because they
Mandarin
built
twist.
him up so well, and it's like, I'm Trevor, and the audience is supposed to be like,
I will say,
I was just
this.
like,
I
no.
love the Mandarin twist, but I don't like Aldrich Killian.
yeah,
replacement.
which is the
Yeah,
because they swap him out, and you're like, well, and then when he goes, I am the Mandarin, it's like, no, you're not. You're
Yeah,
not.
I just think Killian was not developed enough. But
Yeah, I think
I
he
do
had
think
a lot of potential.
that movie works the best with the twist.
Yeah, I think Killian could have been a great villain though.
Yeah, no,
He wasn't.
Yeah.
No, he
They're-
was,
they're
no, he
very-
was Syndrome from The Incredibles.
yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
he was.
Do you like the Jurassic World kid?
No, that was stupid. No, that was this is the thing. It's not just that. Because even before the Mandarin twist, that was like, to me, that was like one of the last straws. But I think one thing, for example, that I didn't like, there's a lot of things. One is like when he gives the address to the terrorists and all that, I'm like, all right, sweet, he gives address to terrorists. All right, cool. Now he's gonna go fight them, and then he just goes and he's just walking around his house. What? You're like a billionaire and you're not even gonna equip any security or have any of your suits on patrol?
Well, he's Iron Man,
I
though.
just thought about this movie again. I do think I actually like it a little bit more than I used to.
Oh my
Think
god.
Yeah,
about-
Harrison,
at the-
I'm gonna stop.
It's an acquired taste, Vaughn.
No, it's still definitely in the bottom half of my movies. But
The more you think about it, the better it is.
yeah, like
Oh, really?
that whole
Yeah.
like it's like Christmas time and he's like playing around with the suit at the beginning. Like, oh, I like it. I don't know.
Okay,
I
well,
think there are just extreme problems with that movie. It is
Yeah.
in no way a good movie, but there are enjoyable aspects and redeeming aspects of that movie.
I think
Also,
I think
his
I might have put
PTSD
it-
when a kid talks to him just goes. I'm not saying that PTSD can't exist, but it felt out of place. It felt like because at the end of the Avengers,
mean-
he falls through the wormhole. He's like, "All right, good job,
Shawarma.
guys," and he's like, "Shawarma." And then this one, you expect me to believe?
Yeah, that's pretty true. But I don't know. I still liked it. I mean, I think I put it in my list mostly because of what it could have been. Now that I think about it.
But that kind of makes it worse, in my opinion, that when you see the potential in something. Also, when he goes to the town and he's like, he meets that kid, and I was just like, just get on with the movie. The kid, and then it's, oh my God, it's just, and it kind of keeps going. And then there's the whole Mandarin. Or the one thing that bothers me, and he's like, all right, we don't have a suit. He's like, I don't have any of my suits. I got to improvise. So I'm like, all right, sweet. He's going to do kind of what he did with the first Iron Man, where he makes a suit out of nothing. Because he makes the reactor, or what was it? What's the thing in his chest?
Arc reactor.
Yeah.
The arc reactor, right? In a cave. So you would think in a
Box of
hotel
scraps.
room, and a box of scrap. Yeah. So you would think in a hotel room, he would have even more materials to work with. So he'd be able to create a better suit. But no, he just creates like a couple of gadgets.
I think Iron Man 3's the movie where, I mean, like Tony Stark as a character just goes full circle in a way. I don't know.
And then, all right.
The first movie, you kind of see him like growing as a hero. The second movie, you see him as Iron Man publicly. He's like this big egotistical idiot. Then the third movie is when everything goes kind of like back to earth. I don't know. I just really like it. The PTSD, I think it worked. I mean, it might have been overacted a few times, but I think the idea worked.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on.
All right.
Okay.
No. Hold on. So wait, when they have the stupid ass battle, because again, all right. So here's the thing. So when they have the battle at the end and the suits are falling apart, I was like, whatever. And then the moment I think I realized I didn't like Iron Man 3, or one of the moments, I think the moment I realized it was after the credits rolled, and I just go, that's it. But before that, it was like when Pepper Potts falls to the thing, and I'm like, really? They're gonna kill her off in this movie? That's what I said, and I thought about that. And I was like, what does that mean? Why did I just say that to myself? And I was like, oh, probably because I didn't like the movie. But so then at the end, when he blows up a suit for fireworks, and then at the end he just gets the arc reactor removed from his chest, like just up. Oh, I had that problem, but it's just fixed now. Where like Pepper gets injected with the thing. Oh no, we could just cure her. I'm like, what? You can't just do that. Then why did you not get it removed 2 movies ago? If it was, you could just decide it on a whim. Like, why didn't the other extremist soldiers, like, if it could be cured that easily, why was it even? Why didn't they spend time trying to develop? I don't know. I don't think it's terrible.
I don't know.
Kind of like
I liked it.
it really did feel like a different director than the first 2.
Yeah, it did.
But it didn't feel. It felt like he was like John
It
Favreau.
was darker as well.
I feel like it was trying to be.
I mean,
think
other than the
first
Matt
Iron
Dream
Man was-
twist, which was pretty cool. It was darker than
and
the
then
second
when-
one.
and when he spends time with the kid as well.
Yeah,
Dark either.
yeah, but you know.
I don't know. Or when he blows up the suits for fireworks.
The movie's got some really bad tonal problems.
Yeah,
It jumps.
the
It jumps back
trailer,
and forth
it's one of my favorite movie
lighthearted
trailers
and,
ever. The Iron Man 3 trailer
Yeah, the
is
Iron
one of
Man
my
3.
favorite movie trailers ever.
very good.
That's why I
Amazing.
was so upset when I saw it. I was like, what? I was just...
Yeah, just go watch Age of Ultron instead.
You guys want to move on?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
number 4 is the Winter Soldier.
By the way, no disrespect to anyone who made Iron Man 3, even though I might have unintentionally pissed you off. I'm
Shane
sorry.
Black's awesome. Have you seen The Nice Guys?
I need to see Lethal Weapon and The Nice Guys. I've heard nothing but great things about them. That's why I deleted my old Iron Man 3 review, because I was in 7th grade and I was like, this movie sucks. And then I was like, I don't know who the Shane Black guy is. And I looked him up. I was like, oh no, he actually has an impressive resume. I'm going to delete this video now.
Okay. Well, yeah,
Shane
the
Black's
Winter
the
Soldier.
director.
And this was before I knew anything about movies. So that video had to go because I still am not crazy about it, but I guess I could get I'll respect your opinion, Matias, since you're respecting me for liking Age of Ultron. It's only fair, I guess. Because Age of Ultron has some Day of Ultron had some serious problems. Like
I mean, I will say, but before we leave Iron Man 3, I in no way think it's a good movie.
I don't think so either.
I think it's definitely really one of the weaker movies in this.
I think it's bad.
It's my fourth lead favorite in the.
I think it sucked. I'll be honest.
It's interesting.
Yeah, but I do think that there are parts of that movie that work, and it does have some potential. Whereas some other movies towards the bottom for me, I think suck and also just had no potential to start with, like the first two Thor movies.
I think
there's
the
nothing
first
there.
Thor movies are I think it's the same thing as The Lost World, Jurassic Park. It's like that. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Winter Soldier.
Okay. Yeah,
we've really dove in deep already on this.
Yeah, there's not much.
Oh wait, you said Winter Soldier for your 4? Yeah, I think we've said pretty much everything. I'm surprised it's so low on your list, but I'm glad it made it on everyone's. Oh shit, I just spoiled.
I mean, we know.
All right, yeah, we'll do.
Okay, well, number 3 is gonna be an interesting one for Harrison, Black Panther.
Oh, okay. I want to hear about why y'all two liked it, and I'm gonna pull up my Letterboxd review.
You made a review?
I flamed this movie.
All right, hold up. So before we, so do you guys want to plug anything then?
Oh yeah. I'll plug my Letterboxd. It's just Harry Costello. Yeah, I got 500 followers.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, I release like articles in my school newspaper sometimes, so it's nice.
Check those out.
Yeah, check those out.
Or yeah, so any of that stuff you could let me know. I could have it displayed on the screen or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, back to Black Panther.
Okay, so number 1, the villain.
The villains I thought were very good, which is why it bothered me when they MCU'd the villains. I'm not going to say what that means, but...
Dude, we have been so spoilery this entire time.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Well, all right, so here's what bothered me about Black Panther is the long term, that they just created... They had 2 of the best villains in the MCU. Claw, they had been building up since Age of Ultron. Yeah, I loved Claw.
Okay.
Claw was great.
Yeah.
I like Claw.
And then they had the nerve to kill him off screen. Not only that, his death was totally avoidable because the guy who wanted Claw the most, Daniel Kaluuya, is that how you pronounce his last name?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, I forget his character's name.
Fuck.
Yeah, he was great. But when he just goes to Black Panther, he's like, bring him. Like Black Panther says, he'll bring him in alive. So it's been established at this point that they can bring him in alive. So why did they kill him? His death was totally avoidable and would have been better. It would have been made more sense from a strategic standpoint to keep him alive, and it would have made more sense to just keep him alive because it was a good villain. Not only that, they killed him off screen and they just plop him over in a body bag.
Yeah.
What?
I didn't like that.
What was that? And then Killmonger, I thought Michael B. Jordan also killed it as Killmonger.
Yeah, he did kill it.
They both killed it. I was so happy. Dude, Andy Serkis was like,
yeah,
also, we get to see his face. I was like, yes, and he looks like Yoshi's Claw and gone. Really?
Yeah, but I mean, at least it had stakes, unlike other movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really liked Killmonger, and I think just the ending when he's talking with T'Challa, it's just amazing.
That was good. I thought the ending was good, but one thing I felt like that would have made Black Panther so much better, apart from not killing off both villains. If you want to kill off Killmonger, okay. It's just I'm
glad they killed him off.
They gave him a good death. They gave him a good death. They didn't give him enough life, I feel. Which brings me to my main thing is I wish the movie was just 20 minutes longer.
Yeah, me too.
Whoa. No. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm waiting to get into my.
Hang on, let me explain why. All right, so you know exactly where I think we should put those 20 minutes, right, Matias? I'm guessing right after he gets thrown off the thing. I wanted to see Killmonger in power for a longer time.
Yeah.
The entire time he's like, one of his lines is, "I've been waiting my entire life for this," and then I'm like, "Oh boy!" And then
there for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I was like, "What?" I was like, because I was so invested. I was like, "Yes, Killmonger."
Yeah, me too.
They're gonna see his, and then he comes back.
Yeah, no, that would have been cool. I think they could have really avoided that entire throwing him off the cliff sequence in general. Maybe just throwing him in. I don't know. There had to have been a different way to do that, to where T'Challa was able to watch his kingdom and country fall to the ground.
Yeah, that could have
rather
been
than
cool.
him,
Literally gone.
dying quotations, and then Killmonger not doing anything, and then him coming back. It was just a waste of 20 minutes. They could have done that better.
Okay, so things I did not like about the movie, though. I did not like the sequence when Killmonger puts on the other Black Panther suit. I thought that was just too MCU like. I don't know. Like,
be a character. Don't copy.
Yeah, exactly. But other than that, I really liked it. I mean, the music's awesome, cinematography, just everything.
No.
I mean, cinematography is. I say that when compared to other MCU movies.
Yeah, I think the cinematography was fairly solid. I think that's
how I
rate it. There was no style to it. There was nothing. It was just shoot here, shoot this. The only interesting choice, I guess, was like when the camera's like spinning around as they go in the throne room. All right.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, I'll get in. I'm gonna be reading almost directly from my review and just pulling parts out of this. But
go ahead.
All right. So what I liked about this movie, I think the casting is spot on.
Yeah, it is.
Every person gives an excellent performance, does very well with what they're doing, but they all feel like realistic, and they belong in the world that they're in. Michael B. Jordan steals the show for me, and I think character-wise, also everybody is likable except T'Challa. I'll get into that later. But I think that nothing really happens to any of them except for Killmonger. I think he's the only one with the real arc. T'Challa, especially, I think was handled very poorly in this movie. I just wish that the movie had spent more time giving depth to its lead and side characters besides Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's one thing that's unforgivable. I gotta say this. A "what are those" joke.
Oh yeah.
That was unforgivable. Like that joke's okay. But that
joke was also horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, that was really painful. I just turned to my friends and I was like, don't get me wrong. You could have bad jokes, okay, like suicide, but memes, unfunny memes too. It's not even like a funny meme. It wasn't even like it was.
I don't ever want to see a meme in a movie because it's not.
Especially not one as horrendous as that. I get that.
All right, so
they did that. Did you guys see Pacific Rim Uprising?
No.
There's a scene where they have the troll song playing, and I was like,
"Oh, Jesus Christ!"
Is that
it's actually. I was like, God.
All right, so now to get into my complaints with this movie. Every place that I have a complaint, I have it because they're so close to really hitting the mark with this movie.
Agreed.
And
except for one of those jokes. That just
they're so close to hitting the mark, but they just cannot reach it. So I think this could have been the most politically important Marvel movie this far. It really could have.
I think it is something.
Though. I think it is, but it doesn't do it. It doesn't.
I mean, it could have been. It could have been better, but I think
people are blowing the political side out of proportion. If I'm being honest,
completely swings and misses the mark. It could have the themes of immigration, foreign affairs, and Black oppression are. I think they're just so poorly woven into the plot. It's like they're just tacked on at the end, despite them being themes that audiences could have really resonated with, and therefore made this movie actually important. And I think that because it's a Marvel movie, it holds back in a lot of ways. Where it plays it safe. Where I would have liked to see it go deeper into it. I think that the actual overall plot of the movie is interesting, but it holds back in a lot of ways and has some really bad pacing problems when he gets thrown off the ledge.
Yeah, I mean that's the sequence where I think
that throws off the whole movie.
But other than that, I think the pacing was pretty good.
Yeah, I think besides that, I think it just
it was good. But
it just threw me off.
But the reason why that is such a big deal is not like it's just a minor thing. It's what the entire movie is building towards. So when what the entire movie is building towards feels oddly paced or like almost like unnecessary, that's kind of a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that the final battle wasn't that great. It was kind of things that we've seen before. And I think honestly, I would have much preferred a very like personal battle between Killmonger.
Yeah,
and
no, the
T'Challa.
rhinos in the
The
final.
Yeah,
oh, yeah,
what was that?
This is my next point. The effects are just god awful.
Yeah,
They're
the
not-
effects are so bad.
Probably
practical,
probably the
it's-
worst I've seen in a Marvel movie. This like throughout the whole thing. No,
Iron Man in Age of Ultron's pretty bad though.
oh yeah,
Wait,
which
you
one?
think so?
Iron Man in Age of Ultron.
Oh yeah, but
didn't think
it's not even close to like the problems with this movie.
Well,
So I
yeah.
think that sometimes the
CGI
looks
is
great,
pretty
you
bad.
know, but a lot of the time it just looks unfinished and it takes me out of the film.
Yeah.
And
I can see
then I really get into here just like this film made it apparent how many shortcuts Marvel is taking. Almost the entire film is shot on a soundstage, and it's so noticeable. It boggles my mind that you wouldn't shoot it on an actual cliff when you have a $200 million budget. You know,
Yeah.
you know, you see
Yeah, that's
When it's in Africa,
the background. Yeah, go to fucking Africa.
Were they ever there in Africa?
No, they're in
That would've
Atlanta
been
on
awesome.
a soundstage the entire time, and it's all on a green screen, and it's noticeable. Like, I wouldn't have a problem.
Yeah, it is
with
noticeable.
it if it wasn't noticeable. But just imagine like a wide shot of like them on an actual cliff with all these
Yeah.
tribes
No,
around.
because I've been to South Africa
Yeah.
and it's like beautiful. Like there's so
Yeah.
many.
They have
I mean, obviously it's not Wakanda.
Yeah, yeah.
Wakanda is
They have
not
one
a
of the-
real place.
yeah.
Still,
they have one of the
You sure?
I'm not
excuses
positive.
to make
It could
a
be.
super beautiful movie, and they
Yeah, they
don't-
could have. They could have. They really could have.
so they can spend more money on advertising or
the
allocate that
production-
budget somewhere.
The production could have been better.
Oh yeah, and so I was saying like I don't even have a problem with CG, but when it looks bad, I get really mad. Like Blade Runner 2049, I wasn't even a huge fan of that movie, but it's probably one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen.
Oh, I
And
love
that
that.
Oh,
movie's-
I love
It was
that.
my favorite movie of the year.
you know?
Same, Matias.
Yeah, I
Uh,
said that in the article I released for my school newspaper.
I said that in the
plug
podcast,
in.
the Typecast movie show episode I was on. You guys can check that out.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. And so I think I on my review I I originally had it at 3.5, and I edited it, and I said after more thought on this film, I'm changing my rating to a 3 out of 5. Edit number 2. It's a pandering
Wait,
blockbuster.
jeez.
Yeah, it's a
Wait, 3 out of 5?
yeah. And then
Problems,
my
but
second
oh
edit,
my
I
God.
made a second edit here. It's a pandering blockbuster that
Wait, what are you called on Letterboxd again?
Harry Costello. I said edit 2. It's a pandering blockbuster that exhibits poor filmmaking in almost every turn. 2.5 out of 5. I don't like this movie. I actually saw it with Jack.
Yeah, I know you were.
Really?
I thought you enjoyed it, but had problems with it. But
I out of the theater enjoyed it, and just the more I think about it, the more I dislike this movie.
all right,
and I
here's
think-
one thing I will say.
Well, can I say one more thing about T'Challa?
Absolutely, go ahead.
I think he's a really interesting character in Civil War, and he does nothing in this movie. He they spend a lot of time with other characters, not him, and they don't develop Black Panther or T'Challa at all as really a character. Besides the fact that he misses his dad, and he's like goes to the spirit plane and stuff.
Yeah, I think T'Challa could have been better, but I
Yeah.
think Killmonger.
Did I change y'all's minds at all about this movie?
Well, a little. I mean, when you mentioned the whole green screen production thing, I started thinking about it, and yeah, I agree with you on that one.
Yeah,
I knew there were.
I did notice the CGI, especially in the rhinos, and I did not like the whole 2 Black Panther suits thing. I just think that's cheap. Like, it's the same thing as Ant-Man or Iron Man 1, which just like
Yeah,
why, or the Incredible Hulk. Which
but I did
You're
kind of
for
like
that?
the idea that like Black Panther. I liked kind of the subtle. It was subtle, but as soon as I saw this, I kind of liked that. It was the idea of like the gold, the more stylish gold, were like the stealthy, and Black Panther is the kind of guy he'll go with what's more practical, what's more stealthy. Whereas Michael B. Jordan's the kind of character where he'll go with what's flashier. You know what I mean? It kind of contrasted them. It's subtle, but I don't know. I like that.
That's cool.
I don't know if you guys know, but I picked up on that like right away. I thought that was cool. Yeah, I think also people are blowing this movie way out of proportion.
Yeah, I think so as well.
I'm like everyone's like,
I mean,
it's
I
the
like
best
it,
movie
but-
of all time. Like, no, like can we treat it like a Marvel? You know what I mean? It's
it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing more than a Marvel movie, but it could have been something more. God,
Yeah, it could have. Still
Yeah.
like it though. Okay, so number 2, Iron Man. We've also
all right. That was a
dug deep on
consistent.
that
That's
one.
been a consistent one on our list. Surprised
Yeah.
nobody put it at 1, but
Huh.
anyway, yeah. I think we pretty much hit this one.
Yeah, we've
Oh, I
pretty
like the scenes where he's taking out terrorists.
Yeah, those are pretty
Scenes where
cool.
he's taking out Obadiah Stane. Have we hit? I feel like we've hit everything with this
yeah.
one.
Yeah, I think so as well.
All right, so let's see. Was that your 2?
Yeah, that was me too.
All right, cool. All right, so before I get to my number 1, I've decided, because I wanted to wait and see if honorable mentions were even necessary. I'm just gonna say a couple. So I did.
Yeah, we don't have to like get into them.
Yeah, we don't have to get into them. I did consider Thor Ragnarok and almost Thor, but Thor kind of threw out. Thor Ragnarok I considered. It's the problem I have is that it's like I get that it's funny, but it's also like got such a serious. It's like the between serious and funny.
It could have been the most serious MCU movie.
Yeah, it could have been. And it was. Don't get me wrong, it was very fun, but it
Yeah.
could have been like the darkest. So that I don't know. Personally, I would have gone with that.
Dark.
So
I don't think we should get into this argument because we should, get to our number ones. But
Yeah, I love
think
Taika
that
Waititi.
that movie only
got
works
somewhere
as
to
a
go?
comedy.
You got somewhere
What?
to go, Harrison? What, you too good for us?
I mean, it's like almost 10 here. No, I'm fine.
It's
But
almost, 11 where I am. No, but but I agree with you. Actually, I don't agree with you. I get but I think as a comedy, like I loved Korg. Korg was so funny.
Jeff Goldblum made that movie.
Oh yeah, he was so good.
Like the comedy was really good.
Any other
Dude, Taika Waititi's awesome. If you haven't seen What Do We Do in the Shadows, just watch
that's
that.
one of my favorite movies
that's
of all
good.
time.
Yeah,
That's a good
same.
one.
I just love that movie so much.
I didn't realize that's great. Yeah, no, I
Have
do
you seen Hunt for the Wilder People?
comedy worked.
I really like that one
So
too.
Yeah,
it's like
same.
when I do
I like
complain,
What Do We Do in the Shadows more, but I do like.
I like What We Do in the Shadows.
yeah, so it's like when I do kind of like throw complaints about Thor Ragnarok, even though it could have been the most serious one, at the same time the comedy works so well that I just can't really complain too much. I do think it would have been really great as a serious movie, but then again, that comedy was so good. So
Taika Waititi couldn't do a serious movie. They'd have to get a different director.
Yeah, that's true.
So I overall do really like Thor Ragnarok. I considered that one. What else did I consider? By the way, Harrison, I think I know your number 1, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
Black Panther I considered, but I don't think it's as so I think that's all. Maybe I'll think of something later on. Oh, Captain America: The First Avenger I considered.
I love that movie.
I love that
I
movie
love
too.
that. I love it too.
I have no idea why people hate it.
Yeah, it gets too much hate.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm a sucker for World War II, and sucker for World War II and superhero movies. So I was like, in my heart, I was like, come on, I got to put this somewhere. And then I didn't, which I know you're gonna give me shit for that because I put Age of Ultron instead of that. But what are you gonna do?
All right.
Yeah.
What's your number 1, Vaughn?
All right, my number 1 is going to be the 90s Fantastic Four movie. No, all right, it's actually Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Come on. Come on.
Really?
Yeah, I know. I'm literally
that
staring
was
at
my
my
number 1
poster.
up until like an hour before this podcast, and I was.
Oh, really? Yeah, I know. So I stared. Well, it's good. It makes for variety. But no, I'm literally staring at my Winter Soldier poster in my room right now. I have it like right behind my bed. I love it so much.
It's a really great movie.
Yeah, right next to my Aliens poster and then my Halloween poster. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, the Winter Soldier. What?
Are you showing off?
You know me.
Are you showing off your movie posters, man?
No, I'm not showing you anything. I'm just talking about them. But yeah, no, that one I thought was good. Really just perfect. I think we've already hit everything we could with this movie. The final battle is really good. But we could just talk about this entire thing, but it's like, let's just watch. Actually, no, a couple of my friends actually haven't even seen this one. Like that have seen most of the MCU movies.
Really?
Like I have multiple friends that haven't seen Thor: The Dark World or this, but I'm like, Thor: The Dark World you can miss. But Winter Soldier, you cannot miss.
Yeah,
Winter Soldier
it's
is
what I
essential.
love about this movie is like it's barely even a superhero movie. You know, it's
It's
really
it is, but it stands out as well.
yeah. No, it stands out. I think Winter Soldier and Bucky's just handled so well. The action is probably the most well done in the entire MCU.
Agreed. Some of the best in cinema, I would say. Action.
No.
No,
I don't know. Come on. All right. Well, all right. I'm not saying it's like The Raid, right? But it's still, I would still say, because it's a different kind of action. It doesn't have to be like, I think for superhero action, it's like really.
For superhero action.
Yeah, superhero.
I don't think superhero action's a lower standard, though, man.
Yeah,
I think
no, it is.
some of the best. All right, Harrison,
All right.
Mr. Elitist. Did elitist, but didn't like Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah, Blade Runner 2049 had a terrible story.
Matias,
We'll get into that on a different podcast.
Yeah, we could do that again. We could do
Yeah.
a Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049 podcast. Yeah, I got like a list of podcast episodes, but we'll get into that another time. Anyway, Harrison, I believe it is your turn. Do you have any honorable mentions you'd like to?
Okay, yeah, my honorable mentions are Thor Ragnarok. This movie, I really like what Taika Waititi did. It's so different from everything else. It kind of parodied.
Very good. I can't deny that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of parodied the formula, and
Yeah, it did.
parodied what a Marvel movie is, and
The casting was spot on as well.
I really
The casting was good too.
yeah, casting was great. And then also I love Guardians of the Galaxy 2. That movie's really, really good.
Oh, that wasn't. I thought that was going to be your number one. Oof, I kind of back. When I watch this again, I have the visual display. It'll be easier for it's easier for the viewers probably right now to see. But like, I'm kind of losing track mentally of what your films are. So like,
yeah. All right, my number one. Seems like y'all forgot that I actually haven't talked about.
Wait, hold up a sec. Yeah, I just want to say Thor Ragnarok. When I walked out of the theater, when I drove home, my friend just goes, who didn't even like the first two Thor movies, he just goes, dude, I think that was the best MCU movie ever. So I kind of feel like an ass now that I left it out and he's watching this. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
all right.
you're an ass, so.
I think y'all forgot that
Okay,
I actually haven't talked about this movie yet. Iron Man 1 is my favorite MCU movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
I think I said that earlier, and then I forgot.
Yeah, y'all, you were like, we've all had this on our list, and I'm like, I haven't talked about it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not only is it a great MCU movie, great superhero movie, it's just straight up a really great movie in general.
Yeah, it was before Disney bought Marvel.
Yeah.
Wait,
It
was? Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
that's
was-
why it's so
Maybe that's why.
different.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
technically it's
Paramount.
so well
I
done.
have a bone to
It-
pick with Disney now. Uh-oh.
In my opinion, it's got probably some of the most realistic CGI
Yeah,
in the entire
The-
MCU.
the Iron Man suit in that movie is like
It's
light
got
years
weight,
better.
'cause
Yeah, it's light years better than
practical.
just
You
any
know,
other-
they use practical effects
Yeah,
for a lot of
they
it,
did.
and it's for this movie it
It just feels
you know
real.
behind the scenes it does so much for just blockbusters in general, and like this movie was a complete shot in the dark. It was not a safe
It
bet
was.
doing this.
And the fact that it revived Robert Downey Jr.'s career,
Yeah, yeah.
like that, it's just amazing.
I think Jon Favreau, like, he really directs the fuck out of this movie.
Yeah, he
where a
does.
lot of the they choose Peyton Reed to direct Ant-Man. There's nothing there. There's no Peyton Reed style. Like,
yeah, Edgar Wright.
fuck, like I'm still pissed about that.
Yeah, same.
But yeah,
Maybe Gary
it's I said this already, but shot in film, it's beautiful. It's the action's so good. The story is it's such an excellent origin story for Tony Stark. I will say it does have problems. It falls apart in the third act. It rushes to the end. This movie could really benefit from like another 10 minutes.
Yeah, it could.
Just kind of slowing out that ending.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. I
better.
mean, I guess I'll have to rewatch, but I never had a problem with it.
Yeah, no, I think the ending is a little rushed, but that it's a very minute thing problem I have with it. But Iron Man's great. It's awesome. Fuck,
Okay.
man. Yeah, I love how PG-13 it is.
Yeah.
Like God, the whole, he's like, Tony, the worst thing about Tony is all, or the best thing about Tony is all, it's also the worst thing about him. He's always working. He throws the dice and he's like at the casino.
Yeah, I wish actually now that you mentioned that, because I didn't even draw the connection between that and the Disney. Because I want to see more of that kind of.
Yeah.
That's something that I've been missing. Winter Soldier, I think, had like a bit of that too. Not quite as much, but like.
Yeah, but I mean, there's definitely, like, Disney is very strict on what they can and can't do, and like, you won't see a casino scene like that in any other Marvel movie.
Yeah, that's something.
Like that stuff reminded me something like something out of a
X-Men potentially.
No, like a Scorsese movie. Not like not not to the same degree at all, but like.
Same idea.
It reminded me of like classics, like classic cinema. Just really great filmmaking.
Yeah,
and, I love Iron Man.
Iron Man I am Iron Man.
I am Iron Man.
The violence is also just amazing, especially when compared to other Marvel movies.
All right, Matias.
Okay.
Honorable mentions.
Honorable mention. So Guardians was almost here, like my list, not number one. Iron Man was a very close second.
Ooh, not done there. Wait, you didn't put Iron Man on your list?
No, it's my number 2.
Oh, sorry, I forgot.
And what other movie? Oh yeah, Thor Ragnarok. Like all of you have said, it's just I mean, we've talked about it enough.
Yeah.
But Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah.
So, other than what we've talked about, I mean, the fact that it made us forget about the Amazing Spider-Man, which happened just 3 years before it, and it built upon like Peter Parker in Civil War, which was the best part of Civil War and really hard to build upon. And I mean, Sony's trailers were terrible. Like, they spoiled the entire
movie was going to be spoiled, and I was so surprised
and yet the movie still managed to surprise us.
I never thought like I knew what was going to happen in that movie.
Yeah, me too.
And at least to the degree that all the other Marvel movies make me, more or less know what's going to happen.
It has the best MCU intro as well. Peter's film. That was.
Oh my god! Did you watch Did you get the bonus features?
No, I mean I probably have them, but I haven't watched them.
Okay, there's a whole like 10-minute extended thing of his short film. It is incredible. Yeah, oh my god! I wish they had left it in the movie. Yeah,
I'm gonna watch
the bonus features. There's so many, and there's a lot of like.
I've seen some of it on YouTube.
It's really really funny.
And Vulture, one of the best MCU villains.
For sure.
Relatable, just real. And like a B-list villain, just like Vaughn was saying earlier. And the whole movie in general is just so relatable. And I don't know.
It opened us up to a new world of a new world in the MCU, and something that almost their entire demo can relate to.
Yeah,
like it works. It's amazing that they hadn't done something like that before.
Yeah, it is. It somehow manages to stand on its own, but at the same time builds upon the universe.
Yeah.
And fucks up the timeline. But
just a great film. I remember you walking out of the theater and saying that was your favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked Homecoming. So Scorpion we know is gonna be involved now. Because I remember when they mentioned Mac Gargan, I was like, oh shit.
And Homecoming is it comes out. The sequel to Homecoming comes out like just a few months after Avengers 4, which is interesting. Yeah, it's gonna deal with the whole aftermath of that. So I'm really
who knows? I mean, I don't know what the first movie chronologically is actually going to be taking place after Avengers 4, because it seems like Ant-Man and the Wasp is most definitely taking place before Infinity War.
I don't know how that's
the trailers.
Yeah.
And Captain Marvel's in the 90s. And so I don't know if Homecoming's going to jump directly into after Infinity War, because
it's going to jump like another 8 years again.
No, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do, but I think the smartest thing to do is to literally pick up like right where Avengers 4 ends. Yeah, Avengers 4
Who
and
do you think would be the
we'll have to
villain?
watch the movie first, but
'Cause I was
yeah, of course.
When they were announcing new Spider-Man, I was thinking my ideal picks would have been like either Chameleon or Mysterio. But if you do Chameleon's not really as much a physical threat. So I would think because Kraven the Hunter is his cousin, so maybe either Chameleon and Kraven working together or Mysterio.
I think Mysterio, you gotta wait. You gotta wait a little bit.
Yeah, I
before
think you gotta
Mysterio.
wait.
That
Waited.
It all
don't
depends on
go-
what happens in Avengers 4. Really.
Just like Venom. Venom can't be. I think Venom's like.
Oh, that's
actually,
not gonna work.
Oh yeah, I just
It's
remember.
got Tom Hardy in it though.
oh yeah, that'll save it, right? Matias?
Yeah,
No,
Kind of like
maybe.
how
it's
that,
Sony.
that was probably the worst trailer I've ever seen.
Yeah,
You didn't even see Venom.
Sony's just bad at ideas in general.
No, what are you talking about, Matias? They made the Emoji Movie in Ghostbusters 2016. So
Yeah,
I mean, they made a very
the
good
Amazing
business
Spider-Man and Venom. Yeah, they did do. Yeah.
Deal. All right, yeah. So is that it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
Anything
that's
else we'd
everything.
like to add
All
here?
right. Well,
Wait, can we all say our least favorite?
well, I said mine, but you guys go ahead.
Incredible Hulk.
Thor: The Dark World.
All right, thank God no one said Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Incredible Hulk, like, at least has Norton in it. So I don't know.
Yeah, actually,
He's cool.
I think I actually agree with you. I think Hulk might be my second, like the second
Yeah.
worst for me. I don't know. Thor: The Dark World is just an all around really terrible movie.
I don't think it's terrible, but I don't think it's good either.
All right, so are we
Do
all
you
looking
know
forward?
the villain's name, Vaughn?
Malekith.
Yeah, Malekith.
Are we all looking forward to Infinity War?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very excited. Are any of you guys a little worried about it?
Not too much. You guys
yeah.
want to do a podcast episode on that after?
I don't think so.
Wow.
It's a joke. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, yeah, we're gonna try and do that then. We
Yeah.
should be able to just find time easily to do that right after, because Infinity War is gonna be dope. I'm excited for it. If
I
it's
don't know
not
if I'll
good-
be able to do it that weekend because I have like 20 hours of community service.
What do you do?
What I'm working a golf tournament.
Oh, I thought you you did something and got 20.
Oh no. I'm volunteering at a PGA Tour tournament.
He gave Black Panther a bad review and got 20 hours of community service.
It's got real mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
I
so
can't believe Age of Ultron's on your list, one.
yeah, I think that is the hottest take of tonight.
Yeah.
All right, man.
You've got no strings.
Well,
on
we'll
it.
see what the comments say.
Yeah, if we get any
Anyway.
comments on this podcast.
We'll get them eventually when we all become famous filmmakers.
You gotta market it, one.
I do gotta. I think just putting a clickbait title or just top 5 MCU films, and then everyone be like, "Oh, Infinity War hype," and
They'll watch a 2-hour-long video.
Yeah, sure.
is that Jesus? It's actually
It's like an hour and 45 minutes.
all right. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, thank you guys so much for coming on. Hope
Yeah.
to see you
Thank you for having me, Vaughn.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, Vaughn.
Oh yeah, no problem. If you guys ever want to come on again, we'll do another episode of the Eccentrist Podcast. Anyway, guys, tune in next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Vaughn.